Let's take a conversation forward with the top brass of India's largest IT company, TCS. And the minute you look at those numbers, you would say, wow, have things turned? The quarter gone by, we've discussed this with Milind, is impressive. Brokerage upgrades have poured in. The question is that, is this beginning of that turn which we've been waiting for? This is something which really is, or Q4 or the quarter gone by was more like one of the challenges are still there, at least in the near to short term. Is growth back? That's a question I would like to throw at both and NGS. Who wants to take this simple question? Is growth back? Sab ye janna.
First of all, good morning. See, the point, we've been looking at our TCV for the last 4 quarters. We've been reporting very impressive TCV. And I believe like with this TCV, the growth to come back, but we don't know whether it will come in Q1 would be the quarter or Q2 would be the quarter. That call I don't want to make, but overall we believe FY25 would be a better year than FY24.
Better is a relative and an absolute word. How do I understand the meaning of the word better?
For me, it's better and the growth is better. Like and then the margin at least. See, we all at least hit our end of our guiding beacon of 26-28. If you're able to stay in that margin range and have a better growth than 24, or a better year.
This entire fear which everyone had in GS 2 years ago, 18 months ago, that AI is disruptive. It will eat into the breakfast, lunch, and also dinner and tea time snacks for Indian IT services. How much of that is right? How much of that is wrong?
I think it is largely right, in the sense that it's up to us to embrace it. If you embrace it, then the opportunity is there to that you can eat it for breakfast, lunch, and dinner as well, right? So it's a question of how you see it, right? So as far as TCS is concerned, we have always focused on disrupting ourselves if that's going to create value for us and value for our clients, right? So in generative AI, we are exactly doing it, in the sense that we are looking at all our system software development cycle. At every stage, is there an opportunity to embrace generative AI? And as a matter of fact, for one of the largest banks, we are actually doing some of this work, right, in seeing how this is going to impact quality, productivity, time to market, everything, right? At the same time, there are concerns, in the sense that if I'm going to use it for internal efficiency purposes, there is one thing. If I'm going to use it for my growth reasons, by, let's say, more customer-focused engagements or anything else, then people are concerned a bit, because we have to make it responsible. Number one, what does it mean? That's research is still on at it. At the same time, there are talks about regulating such a usage. So I think on the front-ending side of employing AI much more productively in that front, people are cautious about it. People don't want to take it. Okay, I may be experimenting with it, but I don't want to roll out anything. But internally, if it's going to create efficiency for me, productivity for me, and if I can, let's say, open branches at will or any such things, then I will do it, right? So I think the way I see it is going to disrupt, whether you like it or not. Inherently, you will embrace this, right? Whether knowingly or unknowingly. And if you embrace it holistically, I think the value that you can create for yourself and for others will be phenomenal.
I've had the pleasure of tracking TCS for almost 2 decades now. And there was a time when everybody was worried about the digital adaptation. TCS said, look, hold on, we are also becoming digital. And TCS started reporting their total business which was coming from digital. Is it possible for you to tell us that how much of the business directly, indirectly within TCS is already coming from AI? Because that puts rest to the fact that TCS is not adopting AI.
No, see, we, in fact, this quarter we started talking about the pipeline. Like we have both AI plus generative AI pipeline is about 900 million for us. The revenue numbers, once it becomes material, we would start declaring that number also. But also you need to keep in mind the revenue would not only directly what you do using generative AI. There is so much work that needs to happen in terms of getting the data ready, in terms of cloud migration as it's required. So generative AI is going to have a long tail of other kinds of related work that needs to happen. So all of that together will drive the work volume. I don't think we'll hesitate once we are ready.
Okay. Now, the quarter gone by, which is Q4, which is what we are discussing, was actually a super duper quarter for the order book. Exceptionally strong uptick in the TCS for TCS. Do you see this kind of a trajectory will continue going forward? You're likely to build on big orders are now the new normal for TCS for every quarter?
See, some time ago we had mentioned like our comfort range in TCV is about 7 to 9 billion on a quarterly basis. And the last, including this quarter, last 4 quarters, we have been in that range. In fact, excepting one quarter, we've been beyond that range. So 7 to 9, or maybe we can increase to 8 to 10, but that could be the range that we would be comfortable with.
And just exactly a quarter ago, the attention was centered around why a client orders getting delayed. You're getting orders, but why is that not getting translated into revenue? When will that get translated into better margins? Do you see all that cycle starting and better and quicker translation decision making will happen in FY25?
As I said, I think in our customer portfolio, they're happy to engage with us. They're happy to sign these projects. The pace at which they want to execute it, they were a bit cautious. Okay.
Why are they cautious? America is not in recession. That economy is growing. Everything is looking good there. I mean, a year ago we were worried about macros, but macros are no longer concern.
Yeah, there are a couple of things. One is that almost every market, every large democracy in the world is going for an election. That's one. They want to see how that's going to change things. Second is AI-related architectures, multi-cloud approach to embracing transformation, data as a huge source of competitive advantage, all are getting redefined every day, right? In Gen AI and AI, new technologies are coming up, new possibilities are coming up. People talk about 1,000 startups a day are coming with AI, right? And each one is coming up with something new, right? So one thing that they are really caring about is the architecture in which I want to do these projects. Am I flexible enough? Is it something that I am using something today, and let's say I'm using this fintech, and tomorrow something else new comes in, how quickly I can pull this out and plug that in, right? So that kind of flexibility are all being talked about. So I think we are spending a lot of time with a lot of customers in defining the future architecture for in which transformations can be executed more flawlessly, right? And that means that the first phase, which typically if it used to take 3 months, we are spending a lot more. Sometimes.
So then when the real growth comes, because you're getting orders, you will start executing them. Now you may execute them with a time lag. 3 could become 6, could become 9, which means towards the second half of FY25, lot of FY23 and 24 orders will start getting executed.
So we are very, very conscious of that. So our focus is to see how I can use AI to complete this first phase quickly, right? So that I can get on with uptick, right? So we are extremely focused on that. So I can't give you a timeline, but absolutely focused on getting the architecture right, assuring the customers that the future is protected and the architecture is future proof on which we can execute and the transformation count for them.
I'll go back to that point, because that perhaps is the most important message for our viewers and your shareholders, which is that are we at that turn for TCS where now both incremental growth would be there and the margin impact would also be there. So there could, it could be a combination of business growth and operational efficiency. When they both kick in, that is magic. We've seen that happen post-COVID. We've seen that happen in 2014-15 for TCS. Are we at that magic turn for TCS?
See, we have demonstrated on the margin side. Like margin, we said we are now reached 26, which is part of the lower end of the guiding range, and we'll make every effort to stay there. And on the revenue side, we believe that we are bottoming out. Like it's about the reason I'm hesitating is even in Q4, the early Q4, we thought that things would be better than how it turned out in the end. So the reason I'm hesitating to say we have bottomed out, we should be on the growth path. Maybe a quarter or two would tell us.
I'd like to remind our viewers that the fact that TCS is saying that FY26 will be better, FY25 will be better than 24, that itself is a guidance. Because in the past, you've also refrained from giving a indirect guidance also. So the fact that you are indicating that FY25 will be better than 24, that itself is a guidance, and that itself is a mark of confidence. I'm purely adding up my memory and purely adding up our last 10-15 interviews.
We don't want to use the word guidance still, but otherwise,
Indication.
FY25 as an indication, I think FY25
It's a belief.
much better than FY25.
This is despite the fact that North America has slowed down, despite the fact that BFSI for the quarter gone by has dropped. You still remain confident.
It's based on the order book, right? Like you keep talking about it, like there is a strong order book that we have built, and it should into revenue.
Is business coming at higher margins? Is it also witnessing an uptick?
There are pockets, pricing is going up, right? Especially in things like artificial intelligence or cloud strategies, etc. But then overall, it's stable. I won't say that it is something very material, right? Number one, right? Barring that, I think, we are comfortable with our offerings. I think the AI.cloud unit that we formed is doing really well. They have launched several offerings to customers which are really noteworthy and people like it. So we should do well.
Okay. So let me just recap the last couple of years for TCS just for the benefit of our viewers. I'll take the clock back to COVID. What happens? World takes a big leap towards digital growth, becomes more like a compulsive factor. It was the sugar rush period for TCS. Then comes AI, a realization kicks in, a lot of outsourcing happened in advance, base effect starts kicking in. Last 12-18 months was all about finding their feet in today's disruptive world, and now FY25 would be about maximizing in today's disruptive world. And for TCS, this growth which is coming back, the repair work is over.
I would agree, except that one more thing I will add is that we are growth, efficiency, innovation, or AI innovation all happening at the same place at the same time. And you say that we are running a marathon and a sprint at the same time.
So, on a scale of 1 to 10, last question, what are the chances that you will surprise us every quarter like you've surprised us for the quarter gone by?
I'm not going to give you any guidance on this.
It's not a guidance, it's a gut call.
I'm not getting in there.
But 26 to 28 for rest of the year, as you see the visibility today, can you maintain that band?
See, I'm not saying for the rest of the year, see, Q1 would be seasonally because of we have increase, we'll be announcing our pay increase, so that will be some headwind because of that. But we would try to be in that range, and we have come there, we'd try to be in that range for that.
NGS knows all the time codes I have. So me and NGS and Chandra, when we would meet, we would say next year for TCS, this or this or this.
I've still not learned it from him. We can ask him.
All right, it's a thumbs up, guys. So nice to have you back on ET now, and absolutely, blowout set of numbers. All I can say is that over the years I've tracked TCS. Just when market think that it's getting right in industry, out comes a big quarter, and then reinvention, capability, and really true example of what planning to do. So nice to have you back. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
A thumbs up.
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to ET Now.